Ethan joining the show now, the former head of the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, Luis Elizondo, and he's a new cast member of the show debuting on the History Channel tomorrow night, Unidentified, Inside America's UFO Investigation. Luis Elizondo, how are you, sir?
Thanks, Lou.
I'm doing great, Chance. How are you?
We're doing fantastic. I got to tell you, I was chomping at the bit when I knew we were going to talk to you. I'm so excited about this show and your appearance. Tell us a little bit about the History Channel show first.
Sure. Well, first of all, this is not this is a very unusual show. It's not a reality show. It's actually a show about reality, which means there's no script in this. There's no retakes. What the audience sees is what actually happened when it's happening. So what you see is what you get. And to History Channel's credit, this has been produced by. None of them are in the entertainment business. These are hardened journalists, investigative journalists, cut their teeth looking at the dark underbelly of mankind, basically investigating things like black marketing, organized crime, and human trafficking. And even the cameramen, many of them have been in war zones filming U.S. troops in combat. So this is not a UFO hunting show by any stretch. If the audience is expecting that, they probably want to tune into something else. This is a real investigative piece. Everybody we talk to are either military or intelligence officials, or they're law enforcement. These are folks with top secret security clearances, absolute trained observers, best of the best, Top Gun graduates. And by the way, what they're reporting is also being validated by what we are seeing on radar and on gun camera footage.
Luis Elizondo joining the show, former head of the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program. When you get into this topic about UFOs and UAPs and, God forbid, extraterrestrial life, things get kooky, and what you read isn't always the truth. And the things I've read about you, some say you were fired, some say you walked away from the AATIP. What is the truth there?
No, I wasn't fired. In fact, I was at the top of my game. I had a fantastic career. I worked with some of America's finest, the absolute heroes over there in the Department of Defense. Every day was challenging, but it was a joy. But my frustration came because after banging my head against the wall for so long, trying to get this information up to the top. And let me rewind the tape for a second here so the audience understands and you understand. I served with General Mattis and then Secretary Mattis in a combat theater, and my observations of him were nothing less than an absolute American hero. And this is a man that I've learned through experience deserves more information, not less, so he can make an informed decision. And so as I was running this program, we continued to have these incredible results and findings. There was a layer of bureaucracy within the department that did not allow that information to get reported to him. And I suspect for various reasons, maybe stigma or taboo, but at the end of the day, they didn't want to brief him. And so ultimately, the only way I was going to be able to fix the system was to frankly resign, knowing that they wouldn't be able to stop my resignation letter, and he'd have to see it. And so I guess sometimes when you really love something and you feel a sense of loyalty and duty, if you can't fix it from the inside, you try to fix it from the outside. And I'm certainly not comparing myself to General Mattis, but a year after I did it, he did it too. He resigned for the same reason, out of matter of principle.
All your studies and investigation, Luis Elizondo joining the show. In your opinion, these UFOs, UAPs, what are they, and how far away from our technological capabilities are they?
Well, let me go into a little explanation of that. I think it's a great question. When you look at an airplane, a typical airplane, whether it's a 737 or a fighter jet, a plane looks like a plane because it has to fly in our atmosphere. It's got a nose, it's got a tail, it's got an engine, it's got intakes. These things don't look like any of that. In fact, these things most of the time don't have any type of wings, any type of engines, and they're performing in a way that is well beyond our current understanding of aerodynamics. These things are traveling, first of all, they're instant acceleration, going from a speed of 0 to hypersonic velocities. And by the way, hypersonic being the speeds of Mach 5 or above. These things have the ability to hover in the air and then shoot off in the blink of an eye. They have the ability, to some degree, it looks like, to spoof or jam radar. And of course, basically fly, if you will, whether you call it anti-gravity or whatever, without any wings or engines. So when you look at an object that can do that without any of the associated technology we would normally assign to being able to do that, that's when you have to kind of scratch your head and say, okay, we're looking at something fundamentally new.
Do you believe in extraterrestrial life?
You know what? I'm not sure my opinion's very helpful in that. When we were in ATIP, my job was very simple. We focused on what it was and how did it work. We didn't focus, deliberately, we did not focus on who was behind the wheel or what their intentions were, where it's from, because at the end of the day, we simply didn't know. There's all sorts of possibilities. It could certainly be that this winds up being a foreign adversarial technology that just, we didn't see coming. But also it could be something else. And I think we have to keep our options open, and at the end of the day, we need more data. I mean, I could give you my opinion, but at the end of the day, that's not going to be helpful. What's helpful is actual facts and hard data, and that's what we're doing in the show. We're collecting that data and then presenting to the audience, and then you, the audience, you make that determination yourself, what you feel and what you believe versus, what you know.
Does the United States government purposely keep information from us about UAPs and UFOs?
Well, I'm not in the U.S. government anymore. I can't answer that.
During your time there, did you witness an effort to keep information from the public?
I can tell you that any time I had to keep information from the public, it was because it was classified, and it was classified for the specific reason of protecting sources and methods. It was not designed to keep it from the American people for any other reason than that. I know that probably doesn't scratch your itch, but that was reality.
It's okay, Luis. Listen, we know you have to run because you got a million of these to do. We're looking forward to the show. It debuts tomorrow night on the History Channel. It's called Unidentified, Inside America's UFO Investigation. I could talk to you for hours. I'm so glad you came on. Tom DeLonge.
It was my privilege.
We didn't even have time to talk about Tom DeLonge, but he's on the show. Check it out tomorrow night, the History Channel. History Channel. Go get it. Luis Elizondo, thank you so much for your time.
Really appreciate it, Luis.
Thank you, folks. Really appreciate it.
Have a good one.
Yep, you too.